Happy hockey, everybody, and welcome back to Puck Drops here. First episode, of course. This is one I haven't done. It's going to be a really interesting one. I hope you really tune in, even though a lot of people don't pay too much attention. Tonight is the very eve. It's about to start in a few minutes of the Calder Cup playoffs. If anyone doesn't know, the Calder Cup playoffs is the postseason for all the American Hockey League franchises that are affiliated with the National Hockey League franchises. You may not care who wins the Calder Cup, but it's interesting to see and intriguing and very vital because if your team has any prospects, you will want to see them if they make the National Hockey League team next year. You look at the Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference and the Western Conference are listed just like the National Hockey League. There are four divisions in the American Hockey League. Is the Atlantic, and there is the North in the Western Conference. We have the Pacific and the Central. Just like it is in the all the other the major league, except the Metropolitan is switched for the North. Look at the Atlantic division. It's the President's Trophy basic team. We saw an issue with that, of course, in the National Hockey League with the Tampa Bay Lightning giving up 5 goals and giving up a 4-0 sweep, of course. But the American Hockey League is different. Look at the Charlotte Checkers. Charlotte Checkers have an insane team. They're number one in the entire American Hockey League in goals for, goals against, and their team is stacked. This is the affiliation of the Carolina Hurricanes, who are currently in the postseason. The Charlotte Checkers have Trevor Carrick, who is a defenseman, and he is the young relative of Connor Carrick, the defender for the New Jersey Devils, and Charlotte, though, they're really going to get their points from Williamsville, born and bred, Andrew Potrolowski. He's a forward. He's played 68 games played and 23 goals and 23 assists. Also, something to look at here, there's best of 5, not best of 7 in the American Hockey League. They like to keep their playoffs short and sweet. It's going to be a really good series. They are playing the Providence Bruins, who, as you may have guessed, are the American Hockey League affiliate of the Boston Bruins. Providence has good checking. They've got good speed. Carson Kuhlman, who played for the Bruins, who's playing for the Bruins now, will not play in the American Hockey League. But Zach Sension, who also played for Boston, is going to be a big-time forward for them. Trent Frederick, Lee Stempniak. It's a good team. They have a good unit. I like Providence, but Charlotte is going to take this thing, and Charlotte's going to win it in 3. They're going to complete the full sweep. You have the Checkers moving to the second round, and if you want to watch AHL TV, I would recommend you do so. It's fun. You get to see the young players, and the speed and talent they have will only grow and is unparalleled by any other minor league play, obviously, in the sport. Look at the other side of the Atlantic Division and across the Bridgeport Sound Tigers, which are in Bridgeport, New York. They are the minor league affiliate of another team still in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the New York Islanders. And Bridgeport has Chris Bork, so a good forward for them, Ryan Bork, brother, and Otto Kohula from Finland, as well as Steven Gianta, Kiefer Bellows. These are all great young forwards that are coming into the Islanders franchise. They played well for Bridgeport. It's a deep, strong team. They're going to be going against the Hershey Bears. The Hershey Bears are the American Hockey League affiliate of the defending world champion Washington Capitals. They have Nathan Walker playing, the Australian forward, who had played so well for the Capitals last year and had a few assists in the Stanley Cup championship team. He's playing for the Hershey Bears, demoted Devontae Smith-Pelly, who's played a long time in the National Hockey League, and the big-time young forward that they love down there, Lucas Johansson. So this is a team, actually Johansson, Fjallby as well, that's deep. They're strong. Most of these players will go to the National Hockey League. And a goalie to watch, of course, Ilya Samsonov, who's looked to as the replacement to Braden Holtby in goal for the Washington Capitals. Hershey's going to fight a tough one. This series is going to go the distance. It's going to go to 5, but Bridgeport wins it, and they go to Charlotte. We look at the Northern Division. In the North, it's the Syracuse Crunch, or the American Hockey League affiliate of the Tampa Bay Lightning, against the Belleville Senators, who are the American Hockey League affiliate of the Ottawa Senators. We know the Ottawa Senators had a horrific season this year. They weren't able to do what they wanted to do correctly. As a team standpoint, as an organizational standpoint, with the players that they had, but looking at Belleville, the baby Senators, they've got what they want, and what they want is speed. And the man you must look at is Drake Botherson. Botherson will probably make the Ottawa team next year. He's going to be playing a lot of minutes for the Senator squad against a great Syracuse team, as well as Rudolph Balcers, who played a little bit for Ottawa this year. Most of those guys are going to go back down to Belleville for their playoff run. But Syracuse is too strong. The Syracuse Crunch, with a bunch of players that, especially Cameron Gallant's, they're great defensemen, 59 games, 10 assists, and 36 assists and 10 goals, 46 points, as well as Cal Foote, who is another great defenseman, and he is the son of the great Avalanche forward Adam Foote. And Alex Volkov, who is looked at as a little Kucherov at some point. They're too good, Syracuse. And you'll see these guys are going to be able to make the Tampa Bay Lightning in a few years. As good as this team has been in the regular season, it will be a team that will have a chance to make it, and will have a chance to play well and do well. Now, I see Syracuse winning this in 4. Belleville gets a win, but not enough. Rochester Americans. They are the American Hockey League affiliate of the Buffalo Sabres. And they are home against the defending champions, the defending Calder Cup champions, the American Hockey League, the Toronto Marlies, who are, of course, the American Hockey League affiliate of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Rochester, well, this is where most of the depth for the Buffalo Sabres has been coming from. Olofsson's a great player. Alex Nylander, 49 games played, 12 goals and 19 assists. Not a great American Hockey League season for him, but the potential is there and the playing is there for the forward. Daniel Reagan and Olofsson. Victor Olofsson could be making the Buffalo Sabres soon, and he's a top-tier player for Rochester. On the other side, across the river for Toronto, you have Jeremy Bracco, who played last season for the Toronto Marlies in their championship run, as well as Chris Mueller. A good player. Rasmus Sandin is going to be the key defenseman here, but I don't see, as well as Kasper Kakusho from Finland, an older goaltender. I don't see it, though. I don't see Toronto repeating. I think their season ends in 4 to Rochester, and the Americans go on to face Syracuse in the second round. If we move to the West, also as a big Devils fan, I do root for our Binghamton team, our Devils, but only for the prospects. I chose a team even though I don't follow the American Hockey League as much as I probably should, and that team is the San Jose Barracudas, which I will discuss later in the postseason. And that team, which is my team, are the affiliate, of course, of the Sharks. So we look into the Western Conference. The Chicago Wolves, they've bounced off of being American Hockey League teams like the Blues and of the Stars, but they are now the American Hockey League franchise of the Vegas Golden Knights. And Chicago is the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. And these young Golden Knights have been really doing stuff. Brandon Peary is the guy you're going to look at. That was one of their first picks that they made in the 2017 NHL draft. He, again, not great this American Hockey League season as he had played a lot in the National Hockey League as well, but the play is there. He is good. One of their good players, Brandstrom, of course, is listed as a great defenseman. Brandstrom is in Belleville now He was in the Mark Stone trade, so he will not be playing, of course. Daniel Carr and DJ Tynan, the best forwards. Chicago just seems to me, though, along with Curtis McKenzie and for BC and Brooks Mashik, the good forward from Winnipeg, I don't see this team going far, though, at all. And I think that they're going to get swept by a sneaky Milwaukee Admirals team. Milwaukee Admirals are the American Hockey League affiliate of the Nashville Predators. And Ile Tolvanen, know this name. Ile Tolvanen, the young Finn, he's going to make the Predators soon. He was thrown in every trade. He's thrown in this trade, but he wasn't dealt. As well as Emil Pettersson. Their forwards are so deep. Their forwards are so deep. They play the European style. They're big, but they love to pass the puck. Anthony Richard, as well as Alexander Carrier, a great puck-moving defenseman. Milwaukee's too deep. And a large amount of these players, like Galvan and Pettersson especially, and I believe Richard and Carrier, will make it to the National Hockey League, and they may play for the Predators. And I see Milwaukee with that clean sweep going to the second round. And then my other favorite matchup in the Western Conference, the Iowa Wild, which is, yes, the minor league affiliate of the Minnesota Wild. They line up as the second seed in their division with Jordan Greenway, forward who played in the postseason last year, but got put right back in with Iowa, as well as Sam Anish and Mitch McLean, Cal O'Reilly, and Ryan Donato. Even though he was going to be their NHL starter, they think that Donato is going to have a great chance on their Calder Cup run, and to root him as well as Will Bitton, a bunch of players that will probably make the National Hockey League, and Matt Reed. But goaltender CJ Mott, Capo Conan, very good. A very good team. They show the size and depth that is needed. And in Grand Rapids, the team they're playing, Grand Rapids Griffins, were based in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the American Hockey League team of the Detroit Red Wings. Well, Chris Terry is one of their good players, and Matt Puempel as well, but Sedina has been on a whole other level. Even Keel, even though Terry's gotten the goals and everything, but this team strikes me as such, not to finish the way they want. Obviously, they're just grooming for the Red Wings, but I see Grand Rapids not going to make too much room and take care of business. And I see an Iowa 4-game series with the Wild taking it and moving on to play Milwaukee. And if that happens, that's going to be my favorite second-round matchup of the Calder Cup playoffs. Now we look into the Pacific Division and the Bakersfield Condors, Bakersfield, California. This is the American Hockey League affiliate of the Edmonton Oilers. As Edmonton had a really rough season where they were not able to get much going, Bakersfield is the number 1 seed, the Pacific Division champs in the American Hockey League. They've got a lot of guys coming up. Marody, Tyler Benson, Gambardella, all big-time scorers. Gambardella right from Staten Island. These players, well, as Tyler Benson, home and raised from Edmonton, these players, just the goal scoring is so deep, so fluid. I think this is a team that's really going to surprise people, and despite the fact that it had a high seed, go far. So, yes, I have Bakersfield moving on, and they will play the Colorado Eagles, which are the American Hockey affiliate of the Avalanche. Sheldon Dry, Shane Bowers, AJ Greer, Lone O'Connor, especially Andrew Augustino. Andrew Augustino is going to be playing for the Colorado Avalanche either next year or the year after. He's got a great shot. He's a smaller guy, but he plays clutch. But the Eagles are just not enough for Bakersfield, and Bakersfield are going to get this clean sweep and go to the second round of the Calder Cup playoffs. Then the last matchup in the Pacific Division it concerns the home San Diego Gulls, which are the American Hockey League franchise of the Anaheim Ducks, and my San Jose Barracuda, which are the American Hockey League franchise of the San Jose Sharks. The Ducks, it's a nice young forward core, some of which, like Max Comtois, had played in Anaheim, Kevin Waugh, Joe Blandisi, the former Devil, Chase DeLeo. The scores are there. And, of course, Pontus Aberg, the former Duck, Jake Dotchin. It's a young coach team. They're second in their division, didn't expect to be. They came through on rocket launch. They look good, but not enough experience. I have the goals going out, and they'll go out to my Barracuda. And San Jose has a lot of great players like Jeremy Waugh as a defenseman, but they also have Jonathan Dahlin, who just came from Utica in the trade for Linus Karlsson. So Dahlin will be a speed player they'll use. Francis Perrin and the great skill of Alexander True. 68 games played, 24 goals, 31 assists, 55 points. The Dane is an exceptional player, and San Jose is going to take this in a tough, brutal 5-game series and go to play Bakersfield. Now, we have the second-round matchups. In the Atlantic, the Charlotte Checkers, the best team in the league against Bridgeport. This will be a bloodbath of an AHL series. Charlotte has the depth. They have the team to do it, and they're going to take down Bridgeport in 5. It's going to be one heck of a series. But Charlotte, too deep, too big, too talented right now, and they'll get rid of the Sound Tigers and go to the conference final. The Syracuse Crunch and the Rochester Americans. Rochester will fight, but I think it'll go to overtime in a 4th game, and Syracuse is going to win on the road, and Syracuse is going to take it. The Crunch, Tampa's AHL team, they'll go far. Tampa didn't, but they'll go far, and they will play the Americans. They will beat the Americans, and they will play the Checkers in the best 2 teams you can get out of the Eastern Conference in the conference final. My favorite matchup of the second round, supposedly Milwaukee and Iowa. The Admirals, I told you, I think that they're probably the deepest team in the entire tournament, even though they are a 4 seed. A bunch of their forwards, Ilya Tolvanen, but they're not going to get it done against Iowa. Iowa in 4, the Wild go to the Western Conference Final. There's just something about this team I really, really like. They've got the mojo, they've got the moxie, they've got the swag, they've got the players to do it, and they're going to go to the Western Conference Final of the American Hockey League playoffs. Calder Cup playoffs, excuse me. In the Pacific Division, Bakersfield Condors will play the San Jose Barracudas, the Sharks-Oilers matchup, basically. And I have San Jose is going to lose to Bakersfield in 5. It's going to be a tough series, but the young Barracuda is just not ready yet. That one's going to have a great series as well. Wow, on defense and across, of course, True will play to the talent that we know he's capable of playing. But Bakersfield takes it and goes to the conference final against Iowa. Eastern Conference Finals, 2 Titans, Charlotte and Syracuse. Charlotte is going to win in 5. It's going to be another tough series. But the Checkers are going to take down the Crunch in 5, get it done, and win the Eastern Conference and move on to the Calder Cup final. This team is too good right now. Too good. We saw Tampa, but I really think this American Hockey League franchise for Carolina is going to win the Eastern Conference and go on to the Calder Cup final. In the Western Conference, we have Bakersfield, and we're to the Pacific against the 2-seeded Iowa Wild, and the Wild are going to clean sweep the Condors. Their magical run goes to an end, and Iowa keeps their run going and wins the Western Conference. Forward depth too much, goaltender depth too much, and it's going to be Checkers and Wild in the Cup final. And in the Calder Cup final, Charlotte is going to take it in 4. They're going to win it on Iowa ice, and Charlotte is going to win. Charlotte Checkers will win the Calder Cup for the first time in their franchise's history, which will be amazing. Just as we exit here, we did the Calder Cup. It's going to be great playoffs. we'll do some discussions. We'll do some actually fun activities, just some fun discussion activities about favorite goal songs. I think I'm finally going to do that. Some trivia, some of those fun little activities that I always enjoy. But I will proceed to tell you short little predictions for the 3 games that are happening tonight. We'll pick them, the National Hockey League playoffs coming up, of course, and hopefully we'll have some videos next time. The great playoffs going on. We saw Columbus clean sweep, Pounders the clean sweep. No one can win series today, but the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Nashville Predators, and the Colorado Avalanche, 2 of which are big underdogs in their series, Toronto and Colorado, can take 3-1 strangleholds on the road and Nashville to home, where they would be able to win the series from there. I have the Boston Bruins tying the series. It's going to be 4-2. Bruins are going to get goals from Jake DeBrusk, Bergeron, Marchand, and I'm going to say Charlie McAvoy. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they'll get their 2 goals from John Tavares, and they're going to continue the excellent success in this series by Mitch Marner, who's been, by far, in my opinion, the best offensive player in the last 3 playoff series of Toronto Maple Leafs, I believe, is Mitch Marner. For the second game ongoing, I believe we have the Dallas Stars, we have the Colorado Avalanche, and the Stars are going to take this one in overtime. It's going to be a Sagan winner that wins it. It's going to be 3-2. The 2 goals for Nashville scored by Kyle Turris. He's finally going to get his first goal. And Philip Forsberg. For Dallas, Jamie Benn's going to get one. Miro Heiskanen's going to get another. And yes, Sagan, the overtime game winner to tie the series at 2. In Calgary Flames are going to tie this series, head back to Alberta, deadlocked at 2 apiece. It's going to be 3-1. The 1 goal for Colorado scored by Landeskog, and the 3 for Calgary is going to be Johnny Gaudreau and Sean Monahan and Real Deal James Neal. Big alert, he's going to score. The series is going to get tied at 2. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Enjoy everything. Subs, watch, please thumbs up only, please. And comment anything you want to know about the Calder Cup playoffs, my life, entertainment, hockey, Stanley Cup playoffs, everything. And until then, I'm out. Hockey is for everyone. Hockey is for all of us. Have a fun time watching the playoffs tonight, the greatest time of the year.